I left off the last video showing everything taped up. And specifically, I think I was showing this piece and was talking about I needed to tape this one up. Well, I taped it up and it looks really good. Everything's nice and shiny, not a lot of peel. Kind of check your reflections there and see how you did. See a little bit of peel on the side here, but not bad. And not bad for one coat. So keep in mind, we're doing things one coat at a time because we're going to put graphics down and do another coat on top of that. Probably 2 or 3 more coats on top of that, actually. And so when things don't flow out on the first coat, really not a big deal. We sand it down with 600 grit. Again, that number, 600 grit, I use a lot. Sand it down with 600 grit, and then you can clear right over top of that. If you, they call that flow coating. If you sand it down with 600, and then you can thin your clear a little bit, and you put it on a little bit heavy, then it should flow out, and that's how you get minimal peel in your clear coat. Now, it's not really flow coating what we're doing because, at least not yet, because we haven't put the vinyl down, right? So there's going to be Suzuki here, there's going to be a bunch of graphics on this whole lower piece, going to have graphics all over it. The tail, all of it's going to have vinyl graphics that are being printed. So once we get the printed graphics on, then we'll come back, we'll prep it for clear, clear everything again, right? And then probably after 2 or 3 coats on top of the graphics, we'll do our flow coat, right? So we'll wait overnight. Next day we'll come back in, sand it down, and I'll make another video. But you know, I had planned to do a video of the whole taping process, and I showed a lot of it. One of the things I was really struggling on was getting this curve. First of all, I had to get this curve lined up with the curve on the tank, but the other challenge is getting it just to match the other side. And so I got one side really good, and I think I still have the piece of paper out here. Well, here's my cut piece of paper right here. So to get the other side, I took a piece of paper and laid it down, taped it in place, and I drew a line where my tape was, and then I just flipped it over, put it on the other side, and that's where my line needed to be for the other side. So that's how I was able to get these to the same on both sides. So it's a little trick there that I figured out. One of the other things that I mentioned in the other video was fixing your mistakes. And so, you know, again, you get some peel in it. Not a big deal. Now, if you got a lot of peel in it, it's probably because you had your pressure too high or not enough fluid coming out. You know, if it goes on dry, then you're going to get way too much peel, and that's a bad paint job. But, you know, this is a good looking paint job, right? Nothing has been buffed on this at all. But when you go too heavy, and I mentioned this, you can get runs. So I got a run right there, a run right there. I got a run somewhere in here that thought it was here. Yeah, it's right there. Got a run. I got a little dirt in it right here or something. So we should be able to get all that out. That is right on the surface. That's gonna sand out, no problem. My run on the other side is gonna sand out, no problem. And my run here is going to sand out, no problem. And so, you know, a lot of people don't show you their mistakes. And to be honest, I don't even really consider them mistakes. Like, I didn't get a single run on anything else. That's my only runs. And you can see why I got the run, right? When you have these complex angles, right? I got an angle here, I got a surface here, and a surface here. So we have 3 different surfaces that we're trying to get clear coat on. And so that's why I intentionally went a little heavy here, because I'm trying to get it sprayed in this way to get it on this section here, trying to spray it in this way to get it here, and then of course I got to spray it here, right? So I need 3 layers of clear coat really, and it's gonna cross and it's gonna run. So I've done it many times before and without running it. You know, if you know you're gonna overlap too much, then you go a little faster. You control it with your speed, you go a little faster, and then all 3 of those will be fine and it won't run. But you know what? If it runs, it's okay because it's clear coat. And so, you know, you can trim it back. I already cut this back a little bit with a razor blade. These really aren't too bad. And they only ran a little bit. I mean, this is not, you know, this is not that bad. So, and the nice part is that they're all on these flat surfaces. So I ought to be able to sand that out without any trouble. If you go too far, then if I were to go through not only this layer of clear, but the layer of clear underneath of it, because remember, at this point I have 2 layers of clear on the white and 1 on the red. So to really make a mess, I'd have to sand through the run and both layers of clear. But if you do that, then you got to add more paint. And that's where it gets a little more tricky, because your paint has solvent in it, and if the solvent gets under the clear, then it'll react, and now you have a mess. So there's ways to fix literally everything, but sometimes it's more work than others. And so I don't want to sand through all the layers of clear there. I want to keep it, I just want to get it flat. And so I'm going to work on that today and see if we can't get that done. And then any extra time I have, I can start sanding on the rest of it, because it all has to get sanded down with 600 grit, and then the decals can go on. After the decals are on, I can prep them. I've been using an adhesion promoter on top of vinyl, and then I do some really light coats. So I can probably talk more about that in the next video. But just wanted to show that we're making some progress here. I don't have the fender in the paint booth because fender doesn't have any red on it. It's just going to get graphics, and that's it. All right, till next time.